Good morning. We start with Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga from the small booklet. From the heart of the savior of 100 deities of Tushita, on a peak of cloud resembling a clam of extremely white fresh curd, King of Dharma, omniscient Losandrapa, please come here together with your sons. In the sky before me on a lion throne, lotus and moon, my perfect pure Guru smiles with delight. Supreme field of merit for my mind of faith, please abide for 100 yons to spread the teachings. Your holy mind has the intelligence that understands the full extent of objects to be known. Your holy speech with its excellent explanations is an ear ornament for those of good fortune. Your holy body is radiantly beautiful with glory renowned. To you who are meaningful to see, hear, and remember, I prostrate. Pleasing drinking water, various flowers, fragrant incenses, lice, scented waters, and so forth. Oceans of cloud-like offerings, both actually arranged and mentally emanated, I offer to you the supreme field of merit. Whatever non-virtue of body, speech, and mind, especially those opposite to the three vows that I have collected from beginningless time, I confess each and every one with fervent regret from my heart. You strove for much learning and practice in this degenerate age, and made your freedoms and richnesses meaningful by abandoning the eight worldly concerns. Savior, we sincerely rejoice in your extensive deeds. Perfect pure holy gurus from the billowing clouds of wisdom and compassion in the sky of the Dharmakaya, please let fall a rain of profound and extensive Dharma upon the receptacle of those to be subdued exactly as they need. May whatever virtue I have collected benefit the teachings and all transmigratory beings, and in particular may it cause the essence of perfect pure Losandrapa's teachings to shine forever. Sajibuki Chuji Metok Dramri Rabling Nidegembadi Sangeshindu Migdewa Idrokunamda Shilachubharsho. By the merits of having offered this mandala to Lama Tsongkhapa and his two sons, may I, my family members, and all sentient beings be able to meet, practice, and actualize the teachings of the victorious one Losandrapa, who had the morality of an eminently pure way of life, was courageous in the extensive conduct of the sons of the victorious one, and accomplished the yoga of the two stages of supreme bliss and emptiness. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. By the force of having fervently requested in this way, hollow beams of white light are emitted from the hearts of the perfect pure Father and Son, and combining into one enter my crown. White nectar the color of milk, flows from the opening of the tube of white light, cleansing all my sicknesses, spirit harms, negative karmas, obscurations, and their imprints without exception. My body becomes as pure and clear as crystal. Now we recite 5-line Miktsema 3 times. Mikmet sewe terchen chenrezik dreamek yempe wampo jampe liang lupo malu jonze sanwedak kanchen kepe tsungen tsongkapa losan drape shabla solwade Mikmet sewe terchen chenrezik Dreamek yempe wampo jampe liang dupo malu jonze sanwedak kanchen kepe tsungen tsongkapa losan drape shabla solwade Mikmet sewe terchen chenrezik Dreamek yempe wampo jampe liang Dupo malu jonze sanwedak kanchen kepe tsungen tsongkapa losan drape shabla solwade.
Sangye chedan tsojin chonum la chancho pardo dani kyapsun che dagi chushi ge band dag rolan penshe sangin drubar sho Sangye chedan tsojin chonum la chancho pardo dani kyapsun che dagi chushi ge band dagi rolan penshe sangin drubar sho Sangye chedan tsojin chonum la chancho pardo dani kyapsun dāgī chūshī ye bānda dāgī rōlāṃ bēn sāñjīn rūpar shō kāngī tūzi nī zōni tāwā tamchē pāmbī chārē tāmbī chūn tūnzi kōdōṃ tēlā chāngzē lō shīshīn kiongkōn chāvī lō rī tu kēsān nāvī jēngyū līkshī sū chāvī pēchē lāmi zēvī tōngdē chēmbī tōngdēn lā chāngzē nāmu lā yī kēdō lō dā nō zhē tribōng tādā mī yī kēdō rō kuñjī rānam chī tamchē kēdō dāgī chū dēn tō Good morning, everyone. Shabatili.
What will you
The nam gundeng ko tewaj lengi orisra. Jaran saba imbayna. Anzu jaran zule tewa kari yobana. Anti shizonki. Ani ngi kanchung lendib shiya. Zo zo da jik nancho dan dribiton. Tewa tanya re jik omena nancho di jik nganzu milaya gongo kazus yomegi tola re. An nancho ki metsin di nangla ya pento kari yome. Anchi kiwa chima kilingi jimbayna. Ani kiwa chimi tola ya kari kari penpa yome. La sobe tachik ani tewa kandashi tangbayna tini. Ani ngi kanshingi len pichosra.
As we are having question and answer sessions, and of course, you can ask me any type of question, especially it is something related to the Buddhism. And you can also ask me about, how this Buddhism is helping towards all the human sentient beings, and especially human beings, and how this Buddhism is relevant or helpful to one's own life. And if you believe next life and past lives, of course, you can ask about that too. And I will, of course, try my level best to answer whatever questions that you raise during this class.
아,
Good
여기,
morning, Geshe. So lovely to be here. Could you talk a little bit about the life of Lama Tsongkhapa and why he's so important? Thank you.
Shilatash Lama Tsongkhapa Kolia is Untuguleves, Lama Tsongkhapa the Korangi Mitse Kolia.
건데 가르쳐 타마디
Mitse,
라마 중가봐 꾸치.
Lao Kutse.
Yeah, of course. 라마 중가봐 게 송디다 ngāro jīmba tā jīk tā yīwān yōngs tsōpa chok desa tī āni lāma tsōngka bāgis tā āni kō sōng tūk sōm dhirwa sirwa inza āni tētā ngī shūda shū sirwa tī tāk tu ngī shī shī sām dēyā, shē dēyā āni gōm dēyā yōngs tsōpa tī ngī lāma tsōngka bāgis kō sōng tūk sōng tōla ya sām tāngi yus lōb zhōng chī yus
Of course, okay, I will tell something about Lama Tsongkhapa. And usually for me, I always, you know, try, I'm actually, you know, always try to follow Lama Tsongkhapa, especially his teachings. And I always try to think about his body, mind, and speech is, valuable things or the qualities. I always think about qualities of Lama Tsongkhapa's body, speech, and mind. And usually, I try to contemplate. And even when I try to say something even if I try to give teachings to others, and when I try to meditate on, I always try to follow whatever the Lama Tsongkhapa teaches. So even I try to study the Lama Tsongkhapa's teachings all the time.
지단다 공 총사띠니 배 샤쇼 되니 도미 암도 세그레스 아니 텔레야 총 되니 공공로 공로 숨라 페바니 되니 게닝 돈바시지 첸레야 아니 공간님보스 솔도스라 첸라 공간님보스
And Lama Tsongkhapa was born in eastern part of Amdo when he was 3 years. When he was 3 years, he was, given Upasaka vows, and his name at that time was called Kunga Nyingpo.
되니 공로 나레 공로 나 갑둘이야 되니 상하기 동바슈니 왕슈니 상하기 추슈디 아니 산천래야 대여도지 레 대여도지 라 기iten기 식전에 길을 주트노 총이기래 아니 산천래 대여도지스
At the year 5 old, and he listened, or he got the empowerment and the teachings of Vajrayana, and he got this name, this secret name called Dorji.
되니 배시 공로 뉘레 지글이야 근데 rab도 총친 아니 게츠고 동바시니 공긴센라야 아니 로산 착바스 어딘지지레다스라
And at the age of 7, he, he got his vows, novice. He became monk at the age of 7 years old, and he got this uh, novice vows and called Lobsang Takpa.
테니 손에 공 아, 공로 축주 락 직슈레스 디린라야 직 아니 dombasum게 젠섬게 직균 참모장에 마크지 직 라바숨라야 냠는 아니 탈심바지 간지 예배 총세게 그 만용이 수정글 라비기 아니 직 문tunshok 예배 총세게 그 만용이 아니 다시에서 마시나 아니 차와규 마치 공 야지 고공미 양식이 세네다지 진짜 칸요 말했어 그냥 냠는 게 차니 지 아니 고즈 칸볼이야 아니 지 domba송 그 멘트적 강기장 아니 정말 참모자면 그 많이 딘디기다 아니 자와랍도 좋아지레스
From that moment, when he, you know, became monk, since then he lived in this particular earth more than 60 years. Then after that, he attained, he attained all the remaining vows, Bodhisattva and Tantrayana vows, and he trained for these three higher trainings. He has the practice of three higher trainings. And with regard to this three sets of vows, he, you know, attained in his mental continuum, and he always tried to restrain from all the negativities and misdeeds. And he is someone we can call as the real embodiment of as far as this restraining the three sets of vows. And we can call, and he remains as an ordinary monk, and he hasn't have he's we never called him as a reincarnation of someone or like that, and he remain as an ordinary monk.
데니 딱간지 공로 쭈루 파르도 데니 벤데멜이야 아니 기위신이 데니 최주 된르린징다 기위신이 조 제체네 아니 공로 쭈루 파르도 데니 다치 동하게 쳬려야 강나강상고 장바치 나요레스 데니 다 최주 된르린지다 데니 직 배울려야 안지 아니 댄살라에 펩치니 아니 로종 슈첸보 젠용 여반사 아니 젤로산 트라블이야 다케나 아니 위려야 아니 로종난가 펩스 쿠만난치 랍샤난치 데니 따지 로범 따지 아니 미망부 지기 냠도 데니 위려야 아니 공로 쭈쭈 카우들려야 데니 페 위려야 아니 로종난가 페버레스 갑 드디 따지 공총사가 비기다 아니 제콤범니 chen 아니 그 라살야 로고촌나 아니 다음 직니 숨 틴딜이야 아니 공부잡체니 지 칼라사야다 도조 아니 따다 틴딜이야 Kene, drogo yores. Ani odu sene ya uleyon. Tene da chik sansam zedan tuzda da samyul deba chik. Tavlo nye na yores.
Then up to 16 years, 16 years old, of course, he stayed in that place, Kubum or Dome, in in the region of Amdo in Tibet. And at that up to 16 years at that time, his main guru was Chögyam Trungpa Rinchen, and from him he studied all the most of the sutras and tantras points, and he studied most of sutra and tantra. And after that, since Chögyam Trungpa Rinchen himself actually went to the central part of Tibet and studied there. And so Chögyam Trungpa Rinchen advised Lama Tsongkhapa to go there, central part of Tibet, and study there. So where you can, study the big monastery, where usually we say there are 3 seats of monasteries. So you can go there and study. So after that, actually, Lama Tsongkhapa went to the central part of Tibet, and at that time he went with, many, maybe we can say many retinues. So at at that time, from Kubum to Lhasa, or the place where he was born, is in Amdo, and from Amdo to Lhasa, it's quite far, and that at that time one has to go by walk, so it takes around maybe 2 to 3 months. So at that time, all the fruits are taken by the horses and so forth. And when he was in this central part of Tibet, he has studied a lot, and these studies he studied a lot, especially to Sutrayana and Tantrayana.
Retini da kachi shu, kachi duru shu nanchin. Chigi ani kalala ya, shelala ya, ani kawacheba. Ani chigi namsa shela ya, chigi pigi chugu ngangun zamji chobala sobi kawacheba. Chigi ani ne shuksa yinba yana ya, chigi nemel ngangun zamji ki ani choba chene, kawache chen. Ani da chigi tuasam lo nye. 탈신바진 제여버려서 탈신바진 제여래서
And at the time of when he was studying, he has faced lots of hardship, especially with regard to food, what that he eats, and the clothes that he wears, and the place where he stays. These are all like, very minimal, and and he has done extensive study, contemplation, and meditate with regard to all the Buddhist philosophies.
아니 닌 제비 갑들이야 딱 아니 개위신이 디 아니 제란다와 존을 얻으세 공다미 온데 집이다 개위신이 디 아니 제란다와 존을 얻으 공차거래스
And his at that time his main guru or spiritual master was Jirendawa Shunulode.
아 데니 테마임비 다 지금 라마 오마바세라 소베트니 지다 개위신이 마음부 용구여래스 마음부 샤블 뚝여래스라
And of course, he has lots of gurus. He rely on lots of guru and guru devotion, especially Lama Umapa and so forth.
Tinza taji jir donga kishon tinani taji ani samu tongba nyingi tuyan tenbi ta ani ta sheshin dodi rinpoche la ya tu su tuyasum chini chihondi ta pigi ki ta umi tawi kanen tartukba la ya ta ani tokpa mambu yungu yoresi ra tokpa mambu ta yungu yoresi tindi ki ta chik tokcho kawla ya ani kongi lama omaba singi di 아니 지 남균이 지준 잠비 양래야 지 무스 제친 지준 잠비 양 무스 제친 태거 기 까미슈 땡이 틴지 라마치 요레스 틴자 콩기 아니 지 라마 오마비 gyuni 아니 지준 잠비 양라 토메 차라야 아니 지 도지 망부 슈구여 바다 아니 치수 아니 지준 잠비 양 무스 콩래야 샤르스치니 아니 징안조 메다 메난신기 아니 도지 체치니 드니 음미 따위 까넨 탈득발라야 아니 도번 탈신 바치 도번 상무번 탈신 바치 아니 세일 소비 아니 얌센비겠다 남들 망부슈치 총열레스
And with regard to study, of course, he studied extensively on both uh, perfection or both Sutrayana and Tantrayana, especially with regard to the emptiness or profound emptiness. He has studied, contemplate, and meditate on this particular subject uh, from the perfection of especially the Sutrayana, and whatever the main points, the difficult points with regard to the middle way path, then when he has some kind of doubts with regard to this profound emptiness, then he tries to, ask this question through Lama Umapa to Manjushri. And Lama Umapa at that time actually, he can actually see the or he can envision the Manjushri himself. And through Lama Umapa, actually, he asks, many questions about the profound emptiness. And later, uh, Lama Tsongkhapa himself was able to connect with Manjushri and asked many, questions with regard to especially about, profound emptiness. And later he was able to understand the all the difficult points of profound emptiness. And these are the some biography or some relevant things happen to Lama Tsongkhapa.
다 딘디기 가르서다 지준 잠비 양래야 태거 기페 간조 난시 메드 메투와기 지 독주 난 투야기 딘디 용야기 다 규진지 거라서라 디 규진 상바이나 아니 무슬라이나 디 규진 상바이나 지준 잠비 양기 샤르시기 요레스 디 갸차 갸다 버레스라 디 간사 카실라 시 카실라 마스 딘디레 만다스라 수라야 디 규진 상바이나 메텔라 지준 잠비 양 샤르시기 용구요레스 지준 잠비 양 지부 마레스 초주갸와 세든 지비기 샤르시 용투고 요레스
And Lama Tsongkhapa, when he was in that central part of Tibet, he was able to meet Manjushri, like we are meeting together right now. And why he was able to meet Manjushri? There are some causes and conditions when these causes and conditions are met, then of course he was able to meet uh, Manjushri. And this is something, you, me, and all of us can do. Like if the right condition and causes are there, then actually one can meet and one can see Manjushri. And I'm not talking only about Manjushri, but of course we can also meet or see all the bodhisattvas and Buddhas that where they are residing.
Tadi gyugen tso di kari res lawan di, ta nganzo la nganzo ki ani sem nangwa la ya keche shu zengo ya chik di rangi pi ke lambi tamsik da domba sejo rasra. Di ta so su mik dribushin tu songo ya di, ta keche mbu shu chik chago res.
And what are these causes and conditions? And you might be thinking, what are these causes and conditions, so that we can meet all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So here, the most important thing is whatever the vows that you have taken from your guru, whatever the samayas that you have taken from your guru, one should be able to restrain from you know one should be able to protect all these samayas and vows.
Tani, ta nipa di chik kunzo la ya sem tini ta iche gogo asra. Domba nangin ki tenbi dakbo tenpa chamden de dang ti yi chutsul chima meba di chutsul nyamsul ingin ki chik pabi gendun la ya sem tini ta iche gogo asra. An di ta nyamdu ani pigi ki ta chik gyagar kebi ki ani chamden de ki ta chik donga ki chutsul chima meba tenla pabishabi ani gyagar kebi ki song la ya ani tu sam gomsum ki ani sherab gogodasra dindri tsokba na ani midi thokma dini ani choju yawa seda jeba ngosun jala yongya chik ani ngosun jala tsamma se pa meda menanshingi ani keje she tuyak di yungu yores.
And second causes conditions you can think about is one should have the strong connection or strong faith towards the three jewels, you know, Buddha, the Dharma, and the assembly Sangha. So since Buddha is the main guru, and Dharma is here the actual Dharma, and and your spiritual friends. So all these three jewels, one should have strong faith or strong conviction. Moreover, then if one can study, contemplate, hear, contemplate, and meditate on you know the all the teachings that has been given by Buddha and his all the commentaries that has been composed by Indian masters. If one can develop wisdom, then of course one will be able to meet Manjushri, not only Manjushri, but all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that has that abides in all 10 directions, and one will be able to ask questions like what we are doing here.
Terda gyagar kebi song nangwa la ya ma song digi ngubi neluk tenla pap ngubi neluk dan tumbi toni ani samlu tangdang rinpa dita sewu shoji song yorasra rikbe lamni ma sewu shoji song yora ta ditu kondu chondi ngubi nilu kondu chungwandi, tani sherab kitsal gyada yinba, ani chik chamnyinji chanjugu semgi, ani lodi shu chik gyayungu yorasra. Ngubi nilu tongwandi, tani chagdang lo ngadrogu yoras. Namba sanji wikechu dira, ngubi nilu tongwandi, ani chagdang lo ngadrogu yoras. Chagdang lo ngadrogu ani tii tsabla ya, ani chik chamnyinji chanjugu semla sobi, ani sambi yongdenti gyayungu yoras. Tela teni tani pigi sanji jewa tsammase rangye yang ani chik ya sanji ksala ya rotu ya chik sanji ya sanji getu ya chik ti yungu yor asra.
And when you try to study or contemplate or meditate on all the teachings, all the all the commentaries of Indian masters, then the main point here is one should be able to try to understand the nature of reality. What is the reality? If one can think about this nature of reality, then what happens is you can develop your wisdom. Not only you can develop your wisdom, but you can generate all the good qualities, all the positive emotions. That is, you know, something within all these positive emotions are something in our mental continuum, and one will be able to develop all these positive emotions such as love and compassion, bodhicitta, mind of enlightenment, and so forth. Once we are able to develop our all these positive emotions, then what happens is it actually refutes, or it actually you know lessen our this negative emotions, such as attachment, aversion, and so forth. This is something that the main characteristics of understanding the Buddhism. And whenever one can develop this love and compassion, bodhicitta, mind of enlightenment, and so forth, and at that time, of course, one will be able to meet all the bodhisattvas and buddhas, and after that, so that you can attain the liberation and enlightenment yourself.
Terda udus chini ta Tsultrim gulabi shizong, tingin zinda, ani sherab gulabi chok chini, teni rangyu ki chakdan nyumu, anchi ngok tsul tsamma se, ngus pigi nyuan tenbi tongni, teni gyawarik sam gombi ngongla ya, ani sangi tingin di, ngus shanya di, teni lama tsungkawa chagwa res. Kon gyawarik sam gombi ku ngongla ya, ngus sangi ya ki ta pigi, ta ngui ki gyuchora, ta ngui ki gyut. Ngarang pigi semnala ya, suwa chimpi togni, tan dirya samdaya chikdi, korangi tsawi lama gyawar rendawa shonu lodro tila ya, ani chik shinyi tensuk, tokbi yondi jangwondi, gyawar riksam gombo ku ngugun dushe shaachini, ani shinyi tensuk lami nenjo ti kyang yores. Ti kyang bala teni, gyawalo sanchaba korang ni, gyawar riksam gombi ngongla ya sanji shaawachik. Gyawar riksam gombi ngongla ya sanji wondi, ta chik lam nyamlenga rinpa di, pi ngubi nesu dan thomba, rikbe lamni, ani nyontok na song yawanza, ti ma nyontok na song shaakyo ti, teni lamram chenmo ta, ngaram chenmo la sobi, kongi song podu chobki ti chagyo res.
And with regard to Lama Tsongkhapa, of course, you know, he has done the practices, especially with regard to this discipline, ethical discipline as the basis, and concentration and wisdom as accompanying factors. And because of this concentration and wisdom, one, Lama Tsongkhapa is able to have or able to attain the uh, realization directly. And after that, actually, he himself attained the full enlightenment or enlightenment. And this enlightenment is this actually, then you can also say that Lama Tsongkhapa is the embodiment of three, Buddha families. So why he was able to do this? Why we call Lama Tsongkhapa as the three embodiment of three Buddha families? It's because or the main cause here is actually, you know, when he was young, at the time of, he has, relied on many spiritual masters, especially the root guru, Shunulode. It's because of relying or reliance on this his root guru, Shunulode. And at that time, he has this very strong and connection towards his root guru Shunulode, and at that time he has done this six session guru yoga. He practiced the six session guru yoga in earnest, and because of these he was able to attain enlightenment. And not only that, on top of that, he has studied, contemplate, and meditate. You know, when he was studying, he used, skillful methods, or he used many reasons or evidence to understand that particular point. And after that, you know, he himself composed many texts, especially the Lamrim, or the great exposition on the stages of the path to enlightenment. And, uh, and he also composed many texts on Tantrayana too. So usually we are saying that he composed 18 volumes of texts.
일tinza tangoni chik nanchu chen dungi chik nanchu shin dungi chik nanchu shin ta nyamlen chen dungi chik nyamlen chen ta chik pigi chimri chik tobaya dungi gundumba shuk chen yongi jin baya na ane lama tsungkapa tenya res ta lama tsungkapa ki jesun roya res lama tsungkapa ki kusung tuksung ki yonden kandra chik tola ya susu ki ane samlu tangba ina teni 대박이야지 마도 가와 공야지다 대박이야지 마도 텔야지 마대박이 이야기 아니 샷다 둘sam이요 말했어 공기자지 군주케다 되니 가서다지 로종체다 투냠신제다 타르 진직 도잘마 아니 텐다 딱 간르지긴 바이네야 되니 땅안조 베티 타직도 타직 대박이야지 마도 먼저 마대박이야기 차 참은점이요 말했어.
And if you are interested to study Buddhism, and not only interested to study Buddhism, but if you are interested to understand the main points And if you are interested to, practice whatever the topics, whatever the main points that you understand, and if you have, or if you are interested to the results, and if you are really interested to Buddhism, then of course one should rely on Lama Tsongkhapa and Lama Tsongkhapa's texts that he has composed. And with regard to Lama Tsongkhapa, the you know the Lama Tsongkhapa's qualities of body, mind, and speech is such that one will feel, one will the uh, generate conviction, strong conviction, faith, and one will feel very, happy uh, if you try to think about, the qualities of Lama Tsongkhapa's body, mind, and speech, and I don't think one will feel that like no faith, even there is I don't think one will not have no faith at all, especially if you try to think about his conduct and how he studied and how he composed the text, and you can all of course you can see all his texts and how he taught to the intended disciple. And if try to see all these things, then of course you can generate lots of faith and conviction towards Lama Tsongkhapa.
마데바 끼에서 지 콩기 고송 투숨기 피 자주를 짜원이 니요 말했다. 먼저 마데바 끼 고사지 끼 이야기 디요 말했어. 콩 총쇼는 랍도 총당 토라니 아니 지 대바께서 이란께서지 마도 텔이야 마데바께서 짜원이 니요 말했어. 상당도 요 말했어. 아니 라발로니 제당 토라야 이 미께서 제수이란께서지 마도 텔레야직 마데바께서지 짜원이니 요 말했어. 다 냠술랜다 냠술랜니 아니 트비 공방 톱이야 트비 공방 톱니 도잘라마 템비 지 체주 존송 그 돈이마 아니 땡라 파샤지 도수진 통원디 텔레야 착당께서도 율 짜원이니 요 말했어. 좋아 요 말했어. 딘디기 따지 고송 투기 아니 이온된 남터 아니 삼기 메케바 다 이어데바 디 상긴직된 페비 젤야 아니 콩난신직 다 나랑 삼나올야 자원이 총문도 삼성 나를 초비 숙진 보였어.
Then, as I was talking about, Lama Tsongkhapa, if one can see him, there is no place, where one can feel, unfaithful towards Lama Tsongkhapa, especially if you try to think about his qualities of Lama Tsongkhapa's body, mind, and speech. When he became monk and when he, uh, takes all the vows at that time, then if you try to understand all these things, then one will feel more faith, more conviction towards Lama Tsongkhapa. And when he was doing studies, contemplating on different topics, and when he was practicing whatever the teachings that he got, and after that, of course, he attained enlightenment. All these things, if you try to think, then there is no place for something like attachment or aversion towards Lama Tsongkhapa. And later, actually, he gave teachings, and he himself composed many texts. Like that, what I'm trying to say here is there is no place for, attachment, evolution towards Lama Tsongkhapa. So since he has, such a wonderful qualities in his mental continuum, and what I feel is that there is no other great masters after the Buddha Shakyamuni himself. He is one of the great masters that happened in our generation. Is Lama Tsongkhapa himself. Yes.
다 딘디지 지온디 드니 아니 콩기 라미네 주짱야 아니 고송 투승 연댕이 돌아 상모당 아니 대박kom야 드니 손데 믹스마 또 스담바이나 아니 수수 샘라야 펜도페요레스 샘파페부페 소그레스다 샘키부페 소그레스다 티마도 대박메 비기 고송 투고 연댕 제마트나 아니 간주지 생각다 손데 가리켜 대바 있느냐 약보다 레다 있느냐 샘라 펜세데 빼마서 갈카고 왔어 디 미망보 제기어데 있느냐 펜도 연구요 말에 되니 아니 또 처음도 삼성 로기에 참을로 딘디 주토니 연구요라더라 내도 하마고 또
And after understanding all these great qualities of Lama Tsongkhapa, then actually, if one can do the Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga, and maybe one can recite the his qualities. Even one if one recites these maxima 3 times, then it will bring about some changes in our mental continuum. And our mind feel at ease, our mind feel, relaxed, and one will feel very happy. Then if you don't have strong conviction, faith, and so forth with regard to the Lama Tsongkhapa's body, mind, and speech, then even if you try to recite the mantra, or if you try to recite Mixima and so forth, I don't think it will bring about some changes in your mental continuum, and there is no beneficial. The beneficial is very, very limited. And since there is no benefit at all, then at one point of time, if you try to recite, all these Mixima and so forth, then you will feel that, okay, this is not helping me actually. So then it doesn't make any sense. So why you feel such like that? It's because that you are not able to understand the real meaning, the real qualities of Lama Tsongkhapa. So if you try to understand, if you understand the real qualities, especially body, mind, and speech of Lama Tsongkhapa, then you know you will feel very happy.
인자 캐런스 총나 공기 송래야 로종 제거가 빼마세와 계셔버렸다 미기 남주 푸드 총한지거나 남은순가밖에 송래야 로종 체나 되니 용거레스 라 공기 마 송디기 직 아니 거름 딕당 식 데브저 콩 뚝당 리비 갸브종 계단 저러다 또 얌세 무저러다 수직을 매워지 디 콩기 송래야 로종 맞는 제투 말레스 하고 말레스 상마 찍어서는 통과라서 디 말레스 싸워니네 말레스라 딘자 캐런스 총나 안지 람름 첸디 총섬로 소바 아니 진짜 소망 뭐 쉬어요다 소지 람름 첸디 니라야 아니 곰디 첸 티 가르송구 여메 토라 귀여바치 소소게 이안이안이 찔러다 데니시니 타코 미얌sem 뭐 쇼주도 삼성 로지 갸차 갸다메 끼그레스라 갸치 갸다메 끼그레스
then if possible, if you can study the text which is composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, then it will bring about some changes in your mental continuum. And if you want to develop this wonderful brain in our human, if this, your brain or wisdom, if you want to develop this, then of course, I guess that you know, if you can study the text which is composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, then I'm sure that, your brain or your wisdom will be developed. So if you try to go through the text which is composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, these texts, you know, he has composed in such a way that, there's a, you know, you talk about sequence, you talk about, first, second, and third, sequential order, and that he used many reasons and he used, many evidence, and even the words that he used is, this it's a all these texts are, eloquent. You can say that these texts are eloquent speech, you know. So then if you don't read this text, then you will not understand. So if you try to read some text which is composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, then you will feel, you know, wonderful. So that's why I guess it's better to study, the great exposition, the of stages of the path to enlightenment, and the middling or Lamrim, uh, great Lamrim, middling Lamrim, and small Lamrim, and so forth. There are many texts which is composed by Lama Tsongkhapa, and if you try to go through, especially the great Lamrim and middling Lamrim, then if you try to read these texts again and again, I'm 100% sure that it will bring about some changes in your mental continuum.
대상한수 냠도 라마 순가발이야 손대 책인다스.
So today, we all of us will request Lama Tsongkhapa.
시시 경건 자빌로드도 깨산나위 gengyul lekshi song chabi pechil amen zebiku tondo tembe tenden la chansel. Mingme zebi de chinchin risik nyamdun denge dasra.
So we will recite these lines together, all of us.
Ke chenbu gyaro chas.
Please try to recite or say loudly.
5 lines or 4 lines? Okay. Page 706. 706 means? Page 706. Both. Okay. Mingme tsewe de chen chen re sik temen kenpe ongbon jambel yang dobon malun jomze sangye da kanchin kenpe tsukjin tsungka pa lo sang chabe shabla sorwan de mingme tsewe de chen chen re sik temen kenpe ongbon jambel yang dobon malun jomze sangye da kanchin kenpe tsukjin tsungka pa lo sang chabe shabla sorwan de mingme tsewe de chen chen re sik Temen kempe wongbon jambel yang dobon malun zhongze sangwe da kanchin kempe tsukjin tsungka pa lo sang chabe shabla sorwan de mingme tsewe de chen chen re zik temen kempe wongbon jambel yang dobon malun zhongze sangwe da kanchin kempe tsukjin tsungka pa lo sang chabe shabla sorwan de mingme tsewe de chen chen re zik temen kempe wongbon jambel yang dobon malun zhongze sangwe da Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Mime Zewe Dechen Chenrezi Chemen Kimbe Wombon Jambelayan Dobon Malun Jomze Samveda Kanjin Kimbe Tsujin Tsungkapa Losan Trabe Shavla Sorwande Serv Kondo Java Tsungkapi Tejo Shinyin Ngusun Zebin Gyave Ngapi Lamsan Tenyela Kechik Samyang Tobar Ma Gyuranchi Kenzi Keja Masanada
I don't think you have recited it very loudly.
Tere Tangwani Pigi Jamgalama Tsungkapa Chimbi Kosong Tuksunga Yonden Chik Tong Ani Chi Kongi Lakdon to Kongi Chik Song La Ya Chik Chowate Ani Nyang Tone Tene Mixema Chik Kyoba Tene Sem Kibu Peyorista Lakdon Chik Shoginga O Soso Ya Lang Ani Chik Karsava Peyo Par Kongi Kubar Chik Je Ta Kibu Shuyorista Mazedina Ta Teli Kibu Chik Meguro Chik Odindi Chik Yorista
Then, if you try to remember the body, speech, and mind, or the qualities of body, speech, and mind of Lama Tsongkhapa, especially the teachings of Lama Tsongkhapa, if you try to taste, it, um, then maybe you wake up very early in the morning and try to offer an incense, and then you know that see or meet the Lama Tsongkhapa's photo or statues or whatever. Then if you try to recite even one line of this mixima, you know then it will bring about some changes, of course. Then you will feel very happy, your mind is at ease, you know and in your life, I guess it will bring about some changes.
US. Thank you so much.
uh, and other questions that you might have?
Yeah, Jason, there, my good friend.
Yeah. How do we overcome when we get the teaching and we have a bad time period? Like everybody will have a bad time period. So how do we manage the teaching inside that bad time period to change it to a good time period?
아니 ngaranzu tanda ingjo den de shubi was chue den de shu
Mm-hmm.
아니 미 참말이야 직 tuzu tis 독자 den de yong si do as tuzu marung ba se gota den de tuzu 독자 den de yong du 참말이야 아니 chue gi to ni samotani ngaranzu di tuzu 상보지리야 파 교다 de kandes chigures
So, the same shuk mashawachik. Ra, pe nganzuta, liu tola ya, kanganda, manda tesi wajirendo asra. Kab tudu, tani chik, same shuk mashawaton. Ani, keranashi chik chego asra. Korang lorgi jora, pe yamsen wapir, tako, ani, dabgyun shor, nebacha, inaya, korang shuk yarchini. Tanda pe yagu chagwarda. Ti kishin buchigirendo asra, mese nanglola. 소수 때 지금 강가 친구지 태원디 아니 shumba께 송바야나 되네 강에 지마등이지 가주스 강가 채바나 드주스 강가 들이야 돈에 치고 삼비 아니 로또지 여바나 되네 가리는 직도고 살레스 캐나나시 그런 제 캐랑기 캐랑 로르기디 간서 냠도 아니 직시에는 직으로 왔으라 pe pendo nge samna kerang lorgi digi mi mambula ya pendo yosar samgutus.
so first thing here is don't lose hope or never give up. Of course, in this very lifetime or in our this body, you know, bodily speaking, you might have lots of ups and downs, or you might be suffering from, many different illnesses. So first thing is one should not lose hope. So hope is very much, it's very important here, especially, you yourself, you have gone through lots of ups and downs. This is something that and you know in your lifetime you have faced many difficulties, you have many illnesses, you have some kind of accident also, and these things, in our life there are many ups and downs, and it's always better not to lose hope and never give up. And in our lifetime, of course, we face many challenges. And at that time, one should not give up. So, whatever the problems or challenges that we face, it's always, one should be able to think that, I there is always next time. It is temporary. It will pass away too. And you must have, this kind of attitude, or you have this. If you have this thinking, then I guess it will be overcome too. So I guess that your history, or whatever happened in your life, if you try to say this to other person, then I guess other person will be you know encouraged too, and other person will be beneficial.
그래서 미망부 주직 심박기 거다. 심박기 치는 미질을 강한 채거다. 계란기 비기 최도 통바 최고 나눠라야 누지가 최 용수 접어디 메딱바레스 규위랑 신진지레스 야보지 촌나 규위랑 신진지리 독자이 촌나 규위랑 신진지레스 규와디 야 zansal라 땅다 마땅 세디 조 랑기 로톱라야 라레 데바시 디송고요레스 이 계란기 메세디 데든 통바도스 통고도스 덴즈 계란기 디비게 로디 나노라야 지 계란 강아 조 가르쳐 요메 텔라야 지 계란기 zubu guju jama tuba na yana ya pigi chabada nimi nanglo ya chik ani chutsu kazus mambu lhaba yana ya kyanan loi mashamba chene ani lodo gu ton tanda kyanan kambi kana ya kyanan landan rotu ya chik ani kyanan namtar chik shaya yo asara nga inchi chidan yaguda shinga warda kanji kyanan ka kang laba di nga peshi gyasha gya tamba rochi ngo tsogyo rochi ngar samna di yo asara dinzi kyanan di kama sum shizik nanglo ya kyanan ngotan tordi chene digire wesi
이리로 단다로.
응.
Yes. Most of us, what happens is, whatever the challenges that we face, then at that time we feel very sad, and we at that time we give up. And it's because of that, we face many challenges. When we face many new challenges, and we are, at it will lead to more difficult times. So anyhow, if we can think about, all the compounded phenomena are, not permanent, it's impermanent. So it's always change. It changes momentarily. Whatever the things, this is, momentarily changing. If we try to think like that, maybe even, the good sides and bad sides, both, these are, something, change. It will change. So, from the point of view of object, you know, then, they might be like positive side and negative side. And, you know, even if you face, even if you face some, some challenging time at that time, if, it depends on your mind whether it will turn to the more difficult times or the better or positive sides. It all depends on your mind. With regard to your life, you have faced many challenges, and so it's always one should face the challenges, and even whether it's raining, whether it's sunny time, it's like natural phenomena, so it all depends on oneself. So today maybe like 2 or 3 minutes you can actually say something about your lifetime and how you are able to overcome all these challenges. Can you please tell your about your life in maybe 2 or 3 minutes? Can you please do this?
Yeah. My name is Nimalan, and then what happened to me is I had a back break off from my lumbar. So they have to take out 2.5 days on my left lumbar, which I lose, and I got a foot drop on my left foot permanently. So that's the most difficult time. And I couldn't walk for about 6 months. I was bedridden for 6 months, and then get up and start to walk, not like normal. It took me about 4 years to come out of that. And fifth year, I tried to start my journey around Australia, and now I got a boat that I'm trying to sail around the world. Yeah, so I tried to come out from the bad time period to the good time periods, and always the teaching that thought process, that changeover, which overcomes all the difficulties that going through, and my back feel much better, and my foot started to get more stronger, and the muscles started to build. And I always think that it's another opportunity for us to go through another day. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you so much. And yeah, nganzu digo dasra. Nganzu kadina. Pena mi mambu shuji semshu chashini. And jogo shiru dasra. Mengana chigdu amji digi chigpi lokna la chigta. Kyan cancel resha chaya mendo slaundi. Taga rang nima din nimoni soni. And miti domba koran gyudro dasra. Teni kala sanyi chogo mara, kala te sawa na digi chudun juguyo mara. Kasi na, ani sem ki subu lyo tang sarada. Sem da subu nyi din jewa hachang ki chunchon soy sarada. Bigi, miji ki kecha siya tang ton. Ani sem ki subu lyo tang bay na midi shiwarda. O dindi ma chawa chen. Kari labay na nga di gyo tangi, nga di kel lengi men samsam rochi. Ro, ani lodub jiyo bay na gyacha gyatama nganzuli pensa resta.
So here the main important thing is one should never lose hope, and one should be courageous. One should be courageous enough to face whatever the challenges that we face in our lifetime. So if you lose your hope, then you know one will die easily. So let me give you an example. you know, you know, you know, there are many person that they lose hope, then later they die. So when they go to see the doctor, and doctor went through some investigation through his this or investigations, and he found something in your body, and he or she told you that you are in first stage or second stage of cancer, and after that you lose all your hope, then you die very soon. you know First, before the appointment of doctor, you have this your own face looks very nice, and after this appointment from the doctor, then your face becomes, actually your face changes, and even your thinking changes. So this, I don't think one should do like that. Of course, doctor advices are important, but after even finding some illnesses in your body, then you should not lose your uh, hope. you know Once this body and mind is dependent with each other. Once your mind release your body, then we can say that you are dead. So one should always think positively. Then one should of course eat well. Then one should have the strong uh, of faith or courageous mind in one's own mental continuum. So this you know the here the main thing is never give up.
Thank you so much. Question. Shashank.
So we'll stop here.
Final Amrim prayer from the small booklet. From my two types of merits vast the space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a grand land of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds' wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded parts of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by my practice. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings, with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion, in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be grounded boundless peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded path to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their sons, may all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may he always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. And pray for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Incomparably kind and supreme Tenzin Gyatso, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, may you have a long life, and all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And pray for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, peerless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, victorious Losang father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now, holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice. You wore the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable Venerable Guru, to you I make request. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for other living beings you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss! Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels, and the great waves of bodhicitta of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in a glory for fortunate disciples. Thank you very much. And we also welcome you to join meditation at 1:15 in the Gompa led by Venerable Assam. Thank you.